Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean? Jump and shout all over the nation. We're breaking out with a new creation.
Assistant Superintendent of Police Brent Hamilton is well known for his work with the canine unit of the Belize Police Department. Hamilton is also known for his jovial personality and his dedication to working with at-risk youths. He has been instrumental in several initiatives to engage young people in positive activities. Our Belize Watch team was in Punta Gorda, where we spoke to Hamilton. We will have that conversation after we hear from our partners: Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, Shell Belize, the Barry, and the National Gas Company.
But what sets NGC apart is the deployment of standards and technology never yet seen in Belize's LPG industry before. This state-of-the-art technology, ultimately to be owned by the people of this country, has no equal in the jewel.
From a centralized control room, personnel can remotely and safely control ship offloading processes, monitor the amount of LPG in storage, and as required to achieve a high-quality product now demanded by Belizean people, control the precise blending process to achieve a 70% propane to 30% butane blend. The multi-million-dollar facility is equipped with requisite technology to not only achieve precise blending, but to inject an odorant to the otherwise odorless gas, thereby making it safe to store and handle for Belizean households. Once odorizing and precise blending have been achieved, Bowsers and bobtail trucks can be loaded for distribution and delivery throughout the country of Belize.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell. Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Pay less.
It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from.
We are in Punta Gorda, and we have the honor and privilege of being in the office of Assistant Superintendent of Police, Brent Hamilton. Now, I have known Brent for many, many years, and I've really admired his career as a police officer, because Brent, for some reason, knows how to mix humanity, humor, serious policing, and everything, and be successful at it. So, Brent, thank you for agreeing to talk with me here on our Belize Watch show. And let's get to know you and who exactly is this gentleman, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Brent Hamilton.
Well, my name is Brent Hamilton. I'll soon be 50. I'm 49 years old. I born in Belize City, 124 Dean Street, Belize City. That's where I born. My father was a military, a ministerial worksman. My mom is a stay-at-home mom. I'm the 3rd oldest boy out of the 4 that my mom had. Who is Brent? in growing up as a child, as every person grew up, have their challenges.
Yeah.
I grew up in a rough neighborhood, and I have always, from my young, know that I had some type of talent. I could run, I could anything that I put my hand on, or that I could have done something with it. But there were a lot of person in my life growing up as a youth man who have contributed to the person that I am today. And I would say certain things right now that some people might say, man, good for him, but it was a struggle. I went to 7 primary school.
7 primary schools. Walk me through the early years of your life, Brent. I want you to walk me through your whole life, right? But let's start with these early years. 7 primary schools. Why 7 primary schools?
When I was young, people say they have another term they use for it. I was slow. I was not gifted to just look up in a book and to comprehend and to read and so forth. So when I was growing up, at that time, I think that my mom was trying to find that fit that someone could have helped me to learn how to be theoretical wise. Practical wise, I was okay. And so I was bad, Renee. I was a bad guy.
I'm a really bad boy.
I'm a really bad boy. I do fool, giant gang, not go to school, hang up on the street, and my parents didn't know. And my father always out, and my mom just was at home. They didn't know neither, right? So I believe that played a little with my learning potential. And I was told, I was bullied, I was done say, I can't make it, you know. All the things that other people have received also in life. So I believe them that in education-wise that they didn't teach us, I don't want to blame the teachers, but they had a capacity, they didn't have the capacity to know how I could have applied myself to education. And so I went from school to school to school to school to find myself.
Yeah.
Mrs. Dr. Cardenas, my last stop was Wesley Upper School. Okay. Dr. Cardenas, I believe, and Mrs. Rayburn, who was a principal at the time, have shown me different methodology as how to apply, if I can play a volleyball good, if I can play basketball good, how to apply to the same school work. Because in those days, if anybody know what I'm saying, if you're smart, you get an A. You're half smart, you get a B. If you did a back them, you were left a back. Yep. And if you don't have nobody from a push you or shove you, or your parents couldn't help you with your homework, you'll be left. And I think I got left a little bit.
Now, as a successful police officer today, looking back at those years that you're talking to me about, you know, I have this thing, Brent. I call you Brent because I know you as Brent, you know, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Brent Hamilton. But I know you as Brent because I've known you for so many years. And, you know, looking back at those early I have this thing that I feel that we are doing wrong, or we did wrong in the past, and I guess to some extent up to today, where we pass and fail people based on academic achievement, you know. And you are proof. I just listened to what you told me just now, that you had to go to 8 schools to find yourself, and they were calling you Dunce, and had you digested that and believed that as a young kid, you would not be sitting here today in the capacity that you're sitting in. So to me, I'm very emotional about that sort of thing, and so I'm forgive me if I take a little time here to say, I feel that we should look at each of our children, see what they're good at, right, and point them in the direction where they're good in, instead of just putting a one-size-fits-all system to work, which is, and you are proof that's why I diverted a little bit here, because you're proof to that belief that I hold, that we need to rethink what we do with our children. But let's get your comments.
And that is the reason why when Ministry of Education made that rule, I believe that no one should be left behind. I could have loved that because I get 13 in my BNC. My score was 13, right? And so 13 couldn't have not got me to a Wesley College, to no school, because I was evaluated 13. No one didn't look at the years of progress from the entire grade that I had probably made in the school, while one exam had have determined what school I should have been. And I feel like that was also a letdown. But I think that helped me to be a better person, because I end up in a high school that show love, empathy, wanted to do good, and that is Excelsior High School, who know I'm like the ambassador for that school. I did my full 4 years. I graduated with honors from that school. And I am not ashamed. I had a spiritual lecturer, Mr. Dwight Farber. I have a physical coach, Mr. Marshall Nunes. I had an educator, Mrs. Gail Thompson. Our excellent principal, I think this Mr. John Young. And they had a system in place to help people like myself. So those schools on the south side, like people try to downplay those schools, Excelsior, Gwen Liz, and those schools, they help produce better people in the society because there's some type of empathy and care, and they want you to see success. I want to say, growing up, I hope that everybody get this help. I got tremendous help. I think part of it was my determination also to prove those people that I am not, don't say, or 13 will have not 13 will have not degrade me, and that's why I mentioned those people there, because we don't want to glorify people who help you along the way, Mr. Renee. And David Craig, right, volleyball player. I used to play volleyball, and he would have, you guys are from Southside, and he have never showed us that because with the Southside we can't play with the guys from Kings Park. I had Curlin King, I had Wilton Comabatch. You see all these disciplinarians that I'm talking about? All these people here. We had Mr. Skeen, who was at the hostel, because I went there a little bit.
You were in the hostel too?
There a little bit. After
How old were you when you were in the hostel?
I was about 11 years old. 11, 12.
I was still primary school.
Still primary school, I was, Actually, I went to high school late. Right?
How old were you going to high school then?
16.
16.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
that's when most people are coming out of high school.
Right? So, all these people helped me along the way to develop my social capacity, my inner capacity, as to know who I am. And I will never forget the late Reverend Fox from the Western Methodist Church, right? Yeah, because he taught
Reverend William Fox.
William Fox. He taught me life skills. I was a Boy Scout for almost 8 years. And all the different badges that you receive in a Boy Scout, that help you to help your skills, right? And so I will never forget that man. Now I'm proud to say in Punta Gorda, his grandson is working with me. And he has stories about me, right? So somehow, like sports, I think was my breaking point, because sport took me away from the gang, took me away from smoking weed, took me away from whatever bad that I want to do off the street, because I was possessed in a sense that I rebuke no one to be those people, because I want to prove those people who say, I don't say, you're black, you're from Southside, you don't know nothing, and I want to prove them wrong. So I wanted it for myself, I wanted it for my parents. They sacrificed my mom, Elfrida Hamilton, my father, Lincoln Hamilton. They were adamant to see we do good. Yeah. But at that time, we didn't have the capacity to say, help all of us. There were 4 of us, and everybody fight for themselves, their own learning. So finishing high school, if I may, that was one of the biggest things for me. No.
You were a bit about 19, 20 when you finished high school, right?
I was about 18, sir. 18
so
years
you finished in 16, you said you went 16, so I was just trying to do the maths in my mind.
15, 16, 17, 18.
Right, 18.
Yes, sir. And so that really, those I'd say 18 years of experience really, I don't want to say I start late in life, but I didn't believe in that. I believe that sometimes some of us start early, some will start late, and we still get the same product, yes. Right?
If we believe in ourselves, we start at the right time.
At the right time. Right. And so when I finished high school, I asked myself, what kind of person I want to be. Yeah. I got an award in high school, more likely to be successful, because I do anything. Anything I have fun, I could have done anything. And they had my family, Mr. Keith Bernard Hamilton. He offered me a little job. Before that, I spent 3 months or 6 months at my high school being a physical education coach for free.
Yeah. While you were still at high school,
when I finished high school, I went back to do physical education. And I did that for free, meaning that I want to give back to my school. That's where my community effort started from then. And that is the early 1991, right? And so a job opportunity came to work at the airport as a security guard. Now, I took that very serious. I was a done already in this uniform and so forth. And my father was a soldier, so I believe my colonel was something in a uniform. And so I worked at the airport, and I believe that was a great turning point, because when I went there, they had a position to be a canine officer, right? And the people who were with me at the security, nobody wanted to run on with the dog. I want to catch my plane. I never gone to settle in our next country, so I find that as an opportunity. Well, since you know all the guys want to go, Mr. Hamilton want to go for my aircraft, right? And so I went to Global Academy canine school.
But what position you got at the airport?
Just a regular security.
Just a regular security position, right?
We check people before going on the aircraft to make sure that they don't have explosives and different things and drugs. So
you took on that canine responsibility.
and then the canine unit was they got introduced to the Police International Airport probably before I went there, but 1992, that is when I started work at the airport, and I did my training, and I said, man, I can't pass exam now. Belize City, but I could pass, Belize, but I could pass exam internationally. So that amazed me. I said, I'm not done, say. If I could pass, then people think outside, what was wrong? And so, for speed up the airport, I did 7 years there. I am the first instructor in the entire country who could have trained out to smell drugs, firearm, carnivores, and I felt good about that. And I spent 2 years to be an instructor. I almost spent 2 years in Guatemala. So that I spent like the instructor course. I trained my own Belizean people over there. Wow. And because I did well, I went back to be an instructor in a school. And so I trained all people all over the world. And so canine took me all over the world, to Indiana, all over. In that lifespan there, in that canine span, that have also helped me to understand that if I can train dog, then I could understand people.
When that revelation came? Because
all the characteristics of an animal, human have it too. Yeah. And so dog cannot talk, but they tell you through actually the activity of the dog, the attitude. Yeah. And so and people find it in other different animals, maybe parrot, maybe cat, whatever the case might be. So that exposed me to international. That exposed me, and my integrity have always been the front when I have started these programs. So when I went to the airport, from 1993, I had a special feeling to do community work. I always wanted, because Boy Scouts have taught us to do a good turn. Mm-hmm. Every time you do a good turn. So I thank the scouting for helping me to do a good turn, right? So I started just naturally help people. I take part in cleanup campaigns. I help build house. Any community project that I could have been, I was doing it. Part of the canine unit was to also to go out and do public demonstration and to bring awareness to a community that drugs is bad, or don't take drugs. I felt now in this area that now the way how the drugs come to how drugs are now decriminalized and put. I'm not a person that is too happy, because I have seen families who have been struck by alcohol, by drugs, and so forth. And so when you sit down as a policeman and you go to a house and you see a toddler on the ground and crack cocaine is on the ground and a toddler take that is where I fight that for, because they have been introduced to something that they have never been. And so I'm a fighter against any form of drugs. That is not good for everybody, and I feel that kind of messed up our society. Where whoever they lead, because we have people that in places that does these things and they are messed up. So the airport have transitioned me to become a better field person. They have given me the foundation to we do a lot of training. I have a lot of training from the airport in public relations, because I love to relate. One of my strengths is to communicate, to relate to people. If I can say something nice to someone every day, and that person feel good, I feel like I have done my turn, right? And of course, with God help, praying every day and hoping to do good, that is what carrying me. So moving on from the airport.
Before you move from the airport, because I want to ask you something about the airport. Okay. At the airport, could you give me an experience that maybe will come readily to mind? Right, like you sit here, you mentioned all the work that you did. I could imagine the amount of experiences you might have had. But these experiences are what form us and affect us, the experiences we have in our career. Is there an experience that comes to mind that readily you could jump out and say, this is what happened and this helped me or affected me in some kind of way?
2 men at the airport, Enrique Hoare and Pablo Espat. Those are people that if you go to them, those 2 men, and you want to do something unique or something that will create a positive change within your work environment at the airport, you better come ready. So Mr. Hoare if you go to front of Mr. Hoare and say, look, I want to take the dog and I want to do this, that, he asks, how you do that? Make a plan. And if you don't make that plan, you don't do that. So he started to develop that, hey, don't come to my office if you don't bring solution, not bring problems. Mr. Pablo Espat, I have sent men, that man taught you calm, taught you how to, you could be a leader, but you listen to people, you respect their opinion, you give them what you think your advice, but you must show empathy that you do care. And don't care with a fake, care with your heart, that genuine. So I felt going to the airport, learning from those 2 persons, that I feel like that was a really stamp in my heart. And I could not forget, and I know if I listen to this here, I get vexed if I never mention any name, Mr. Virgil Murillo and Herman Belize. Those are officers who had months of experience and they could have shared. They light up my profession. That they make you know what, don't stand for enemy, or say stand for great. And so all of that during my focus, all of that made happen too for me at the airport.
And I know the 4 gentlemen you described very well, very, very well. Yeah.
So leaving the airport, Chief, the late Mr. Superintendent Williams, former Commissioner of Police, used to go through the airport and see me working with the dog. And he asked, he said, would you like to come to the police department? I said, man, I love the airport. I think they give me the start. I would like to retire here. Then one spell my mind said, man, I could do a lot of things. This is the only airport. I could go search different things. I could go all over the place. There's more opportunity in the police. He said, all right, send in your qualifications and send it to my office in Belmopan and so forth. I sent it. He came back, must about 2 weeks. He flew out back another week and he said, I have not seen your document. I said, I have sent it. He said, well, go photocopy it now and bring it back. So I gave the man all the qualifications that I have. The man said, but you more qualified, so I see never sell it, man. Tell him, boss, well, that's what I have, and so forth. And in 1 week time, I got my letter and I reported to the police training academy as a police officer in 2001. Okay. And I was not afraid, I was bold. I feared no one. I know what I know. And the guys who was at Canine, those are people who I have trained. I could have said I don't have no knowledge of what policing, nothing. And so I spent a whole year doing practical work, learning through practical, and applying the theory through practical. Okay. And I tell my former assistant commissioner at the time was Mr. Russell Blackett. He was an inspector then, and he was at the training school. And I said, I want to get into the training. I don't want to be left behind. I want to know whatever those police know. I'm from outside, but I want to know everything. So I did my recruit training. I passed out just like police. Mm-hmm. And then I saw my development start to change. I don't look at the back. I always look at the front. And I am not there. I came to make a change in the department. And so my police career started out at the canine unit. Okay. Yeah, and I believe the most bad guys will know me if they do the wrong things. And I have never settled for just having the canine unit be mediocre neither. I wanted that the more police officers that work in the canine unit could have been trained, could have been instructors. I didn't wanted that's only me to know. If so, you know. You want
to share the knowledge.
I want to share the knowledge. And so as a result of that, the beautiful U.S. Embassy, those are people who follow my work. They always donating dog to the police department. And I could have always lent great advice. I have exchange, do exchange program where they assist me by going outside. They have invested a lot of money in my training. And so I am proud to say that that my legacy at the police canine unit is still there. because I wanted people to be instructors, and I see that happen. We get billions, we get more dogs. I could walk away now and say that, you know what, there are people at the Belize Police Department, at the canine unit, that can carry on the work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What made you get interested in the dogs in the first place? Because you said that you went there, you saw it happening, but were you interested in dogs before you went to work at the airport?
Well, actually, my father, we had dog when we were young, and we had a dog. I think it's a wolf, but that had 2 different color eyes. And the dog was, I think my father got that dog from a Range Rock when he was working at Ministry of Works. And none of my brother could have handled a dog. Only me could have handled a dog. And the dog went near Benji, right? And he bite up my brother, he bite up them, everybody get bite except me. So I saw like I had a talent to hold a dog, and so it was natural that working on a dog and see what a dog can do and how he can do help people, help find dope faster, help find whatever you want to find in a faster and humane way that you don't have to touch up the person, you don't have to say anything. The dog doesn't know who is who. He sees in black and white and he tells you the presence and absence of narcotics. And it was unique to see if you try to hide it, the dog go and find it. And so it was a passion from I was young that I always wanted to work with dog. You know the story, we used to watch Lassie when we were young.
Familiar with those stories.
Yes. Yeah, so that was the passion of it, and seeing people taking dope or taking any type of narcotics out of the country, and I was working at the airport, and we can't find it, and so when the dog program came about, we find it all over the place. How people so unique for put it, people pose as church, people pose as whatever, but the dog doesn't know who's a churchman, who's a businessman, who's a narrowman. All he knows is to smell what we train him to smell.
So at the airport, when someone came in, I don't see the dogs much at the airport. No, is there a reason for that? Do you know why? No.
The program is very expensive. It's like $40,000 for just one dog. The whole program. I believe at the airport. I believe they want to. I don't see them there. They don't. The program I believe there is not happening anymore. But I believe in time. I believe they'll be up back.
But when you have the dogs, and the dogs would go sniffing, when you go to foreign airports, you see the dog walk and it sniffs your luggage as it goes along, right? So that's what would happen, yes. Right?
You save time.
And then he sits where
something wrong. So if you'd had take a little draw before you travel, that still remain on your clothes, the dog could have picked that up, and we don't know if something wrong. The dog does not discriminate. But it helps work faster. A dog can screen at least about 500 passengers within 5 minutes. Wow. If once they're in the line, you run that dog, you get a screen. So it saves man time, right? A very expensive program. They need to be ASC. They need to have good vehicle. They need to you need to pet them up. You need to really love them to get the work. They give you a lifespan. Depends on the type of dog you buy. Probably about 9 years, right? And after that, then they go into retirement. So. Sometimes I get a little antsy when I see like people go missing, people can't find a loved one, and passionately, that's a program we need to have dogs, carnivore dogs to assist to look for people and so forth. So I believe everything was just timing, Mr. Rene, just timing.
No, you are also active, and I know we have to get to how you became. Maybe we should do a police career first before we get into the carnival and the community service and what have you. So you started to climb the ladder in the police department. How was that climb?
That's a rough. That was a rough in military, in police department. You could be anything what you want to be within the police department. I not settle for just be a canine man. I want to know everything. So when it comes to the paramilitary side of the police, that was a natural for me, where drills, whatever drilling. I am passionate about marching. I am passionate about seeing people moving together. I am passionate about interviewing people. My experience in the police so far is working at the canine unit, working at the anti-drug unit. I went to work in Kikaka. I went to work in the Eastern Division. Then I went to work in the Lake Independence, back to the Canine unit, and then now here in Toledo. So I believe I'm a well-rounded police officer in the sense that I don't run away from no task. And so I'm a community-oriented police officer, meaning that I have a natural genuine heart for people. Natural justice is my thing, and I don't believe that. I don't believe in police brutality. I believe that the police can many times can sit down and mediate with people, and I don't believe in you can't save someone if they don't want to be saved. I believe we should be well trained. I believe people deserve second chance with a proper program in place to make sure that you want to accept the change. And so I don't stand up side of. I don't like corrupted. I don't like corruption. There are sometimes there are things as a police officer that you cannot fix. Where you can't fix, you continue to roll on. And I have always stand with positive police. I don't hang out with negative police officer. And you'd be sad to say that I have never inspired to be the commissioner of police.
Never aspired to be the commissioner? Why is that, Brent?
My father was a sergeant major in the military. I always wanted just to pass him. So he was my mentor in his rank. And then I had my family, Mr. Keith Bernard Hamilton, who was like an officer also. So I wanted to just to among these people. And so I have passed all of them in the rank structure. And the reason why I say that...
Keith Hamilton and I were going to school together for a while. I was at college, right? All right.
Right? So that might sound weird that the life is real, Renee. Not everybody inspired to be that to the top there. I aspire to be a great police officer. A police officer that when he retire, people respect that police officer. I want to be when I retire, that you know what, that man was fair. That man did his job with integrity, with dignity. So wherever I end up, that is my legacy I want to leave behind. It's not about just because I want to be commissioner of police. It is how I'm going to finish and where my legacy will remain with integrity intact, a fearless guy positively, and people can love me whether I left the job or not.
Hamilton continues to promote music to young people. Recently, the Music in Schools Committee handed over some band equipment to the Punta Gorda Police Cadets. Our Belize Watch team was there, and we will share some of the festivities after we hear from our partners.
But what sets NGC apart is the deployment of standards and technology never yet seen in Belize's LPG industry before. This state-of-the-art technology, ultimately to be owned by the people of this country, has no equal in the jewel.
From a centralized control room, personnel can remotely and safely control ship offloading processes, monitor the amount of LPG in storage, and as required to achieve a high-quality product now demanded by Belizean people, control the precise blending process to achieve a 70% propane to 30% butane blend. The multi-million-dollar facility is equipped with requisite technology to not only achieve precise blending, but to inject an odorant to the otherwise odorless gas, thereby making it safe to store and handle for Belizean households. Once odorizing and precise blending have been achieved, Bowsers and bobtail trucks can be loaded for distribution and delivery throughout the country of Belize.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell! Since 2008, the Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Pay less.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry come from.
Today we witness again when the handing over of instruments and the passion you put into getting instruments for the group here in Toledo, the Police Cadet Corps here in Toledo. We witness that passion that you have for community service. I mean, you bring not only strict policing, like we were talking about just now, and integrity and whatnot, but you also bring that human side into things where you do your best to serve the community in which you are operating in. I know in Belize City, for example, you had the Youth Cadet Corps on the ball. I've seen you taking part in Christmas parades where you are leading, and having a good time in the community. So let's look at the community side of Brent Hamilton.
Yes. As I said earlier, I was a Boy Scout. We were taught to do community service. That didn't left me. As I grew up being a young boy, we always wanted to do community service. My first, if I can remember, my first community service as a young man was to clean up the beach, Belize Beach. As a Boy Scout, we have these badges that we have to get, these merit badges. And so based on those merit badges, we had to complete like clean up and these type of things. The Boy Scout said, do a good turn. And so if someone asks us, or asks me, if he say, man, come chop my yard, come clean up your yard, or you could help build a fence, I jump on that. So I didn't know what I was doing. All I know that I had help. And it became like a passion for me. It became natural to see when you help build a fence or you help someone in your community to do some type of work. You see the smile. That's the joy that I get. And so I never did stop. I never did stop doing community work. I can say the police department has an arm that we call community policing. And in that program, they have programs that reflect community, to do help community relations. I never really, before I joined the police, I don't have that in me. I didn't even know I to do that. And so I can say that I work with other organizations before I became a police with the YWCA. If you check 15 of the pageant, I always try to assist in taking these 60-year-old young ladies just to be by their side. And so I did, like, I always help out the YMCA, the YWCA, and whatever activities they have, we are jumping at some of the activities. So I can tell you, Miss Y was one of I look forward for that, to always assist in whatever they ask me to assist. Hands down, Miss Irene, other projects that I involved with is always when they have these Labor Day, right? I just come out. I never did a police son. I just come out. And so by the Labor Day, and so forth. And we said, by what we are doing in our community, And so it started from just clean up, helping our neighborhood. If a neighbor next year that he build a fence or he mix cement, we just go there and help mix cement. That go a long way, sorry. And I can also remember when growing up as a young boy, they had a lady, can't remember her name. She lived on Regent Street West. And I was passing in my Boy Scout uniform, and he said, Sir, I look home because I sir, right? A young man, right? And she said, could you, can you please give me $20? And I said, but my father just gave me $20 to take part in the 21st parade. And but they said, do a good turn. So I gave her my $20, right? And when she took that $20, she went into her breast, if I can say that, and took out many $20, right? And I look, I said, no, this is not community service. This is somebody to hustle me. So I had this genuine heart that I don't care whether if you may hustle me or genuine I may help you. I make God and start that out with you. That inspired me more to do more community service. So I started link up with churches, another organization, and some church will go on retreats, especially the church in the Lake Independence area, because that's my second home. And back in the days, these people have clean up campaign, clean the whole entire Mahogany Street, clean the entire Vernon Street, and so that was started by us. What made me do more is when I end up in the police, and I have seen the opportunity could have expanded more, and genuine out there, chief, people need help.
Now, with regards to music, and we're talking about music a while ago, what is your plan where music is concerned?
I'm hoping that my cadet program expand by also playing wind instruments, so we can actually play music, and that this music, by playing music, that it could provide some type of economic for their pocket, that they could actually play in a real band or a music band, or something like that, and to help empower them through different music, different genre, that not only dancing, but maybe they found themselves to sing. Finding a police marching band, a bigger band, the police band, the BDF have a band. I believe that you can pull right from this pool, from this program right here, and finally to help keep the kids off the street. So if I have 100 instruments, there are 100 kids. You help decrease your crime. You help them to become a better person at home. And so my mission is to ban over gun, make we play music, and make we keep down the crime.
So some time ago, we witnessed the handing over of instruments to you from behalf of the Governor General, former Governor General, Sir Colville N. Young, Music in the Schools Committee. You know, that committee is still very active, and as it's proved that those instruments came with the compliments, obviously, of Most Honorable Sir Colville Young, who is still the patron of the Music in the Schools Committee. We were privileged to represent Sir Colville, and we were at the handing over. I recollect how impressive it was for me to witness the children and the joy that they had when they received those drums, and they played them for us, they performed for us. As a matter of fact, I got very emotional during the presentation. So maybe before we leave, Brent, ASP, Assistant Superintendent of Police, Brent Hamilton, maybe we could play back so we can refresh ourselves the moments we spent, some of the moments, the highlights we spent in handing over those instruments to your latest creation, which is the band of the Punta Gorda Police Youth Cadet.
It's the first marching band formed at the Police Youth Cadet Corps here in Punta Gorda. Yeah, so I feel proud of that I bring that change here, and I hope that we will be disciplined, we'll take care of our equipments. Of course, thanks to everybody who have contributed to it. And we form a committee, and there's certain structure that I will implement, that these instruments don't left the station, all right? So all we will do, we'll get better. That's all we're going to do. I'm looking forward for September celebration, the March Day. If you notice, we saw two side of the band already, to lead parade here in Punta Gorda. Took part maybe in the 19th of November parade in Tangriga. And if God is willing and your committee is ready, we'll be seeing you for Christmas parade.
Okay, for sure. For sure. So let's just look at that and recollect the day we spent here in Punta Gorda with you.
This is what I am trying to have a marching band that can do anything. It can do band fest, can do regular marching.
Yes. It's important. That's important. And we have to try and get some more instruments. Work on that.
Yes, sir. And if we had wind instruments, then we may be playing music to a different beat, right? So right now it's a drum corps, right?
Then we graduate to some wind instruments after this.
Yes, sir. Going from small to the top, right?
Yes.
Check it out. Trying to make the band universal, right?
Yeah, cultural as well. Huh? Cultural. Brockton have a Creole culture, right?
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent.
We will wrap up our conversation with Assistant Superintendent of Police Brent Hamilton after we hear from our partners, Shell Belize, the Barry, the National Gas Company, and Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust.
But what sets NGC apart is the deployment of standards and technology never yet seen in Belize's LPG industry before. This state-of-the-art technology, ultimately to be owned by the people of this country, has no equal in the jungle.
From a centralized control room, personnel can remotely and safely control ship offloading processes, monitor the amount of LPG in storage, and as required to achieve a high-quality product now demanded by Belizean people, control the precise blending process to achieve a 70% propane to 30% butane blend. The multi-million-dollar facility is equipped with requisite technology to not only achieve precise blending, but to inject an odorant to the otherwise odorless gas, thereby making it safe to store and handle for Belizean households. Once odorizing and precise blending have been achieved, Bowsers and bobtail trucks can be loaded for distribution and delivery throughout the country of Belize.
The National Gas Company of Belize, fueling Belize forward.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well. Go Shell. Since 2008, The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust has created opportunities for Belizeans to develop themselves and their communities. The trust employs tools that are intuitive, collaborative, and accessible so that every Belizean is empowered to achieve their full potential. Over 200,000 Belizeans have been impacted because of our various initiatives. The Belize Natural Energy Charitable Trust, empowering Belizeans of today to create the Belize of tomorrow.
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, Sa Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Pay less.
It don't matter what part of the jewelry come from.
We want to embark on music and the drum playing and have a drum corps. And at the end of the day, it is very timely because we're looking at boosting up the Police Youth Cadet Corps here in Punta Gorda and also spread it throughout the entire villages within Punta Gorda. If you all notice now, Mr. Villanueva has been very instrumental in giving back to his community, and we want to say thank you very much for that. The Police Youth Cadet Corps is a striving Police Youth Cadet Corps. With the setback that we had with the COVID situation, we are trying to do proper recruitment again and see how best we can get this Police Youth Cadet Corps up and running.
I greet you on behalf of the Music in the Schools Committee, especially on behalf of the most honorable, that's the title that's attributed to him now, the most honorable Sir Colville Young, who is the former Governor General of Belize. As you know, Sir Colville Young was the Governor General of Belize for over 22 years, and one of his passions was music in schools. So he felt that music should be in all schools, and all civic organizations should be looking at some sort of music. And of course, the Police Youth Corps is no exception. So when ASP Hamilton asked me about the donation, I immediately contacted Sir Colville, and I sit on the Music in Schools Committee, and so we had a meeting, and unanimously, yes, what do they want? Well, I got the list from ASP Hamilton, and we facilitated the purchase and what have you, and made sure that everything happened as soon as we could have allowed it to happen. Bandfest is coming back next year, and I really hope to see this band as a part of Bandfest. Not only as a part of Bandfest, but maybe winning Bandfest too, right? Why not? A lot of things in life we don't get to do or we don't achieve because we tell ourselves we cannot achieve it, right? We are the ones that tell ourselves we cannot achieve it. We are the ones that sometimes look around and say, oh, I can't be that. Oh, I can't be this. Oh, this cannot happen to me, you know, and so on. And so by doing that, we limit our thinking. Because what is true is that your life will always follow your thoughts. So whatever you are thinking about, wherever you want to go, that's where your life is going. There's a thing all of us have, which is our integrity. You must not compromise your integrity for nobody or for nothing. Because when you do that, then, you know, that's when you are swept out of the water, you're swept in back. You know, you stay firm in what you believe in, keep your goals in mind. And so in whatever you do in life, as young people, have that determination to make it. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. So in playing music, you love music, and because you love music, well, you know, love is what determines who you become. Love yourself, love the music that you're doing, aim to be number one at all times, and then you'll be successful.
I would like to say a big thank you to my most honorable Dr. Calvin Young, former Governor General of Belize, yourself, your committee, everyone who put in a yes for Punta Gorda cadets to get these instruments. I am very emotional right now because I came up also in a rough beginning, And I know there's one way to make it through life. It's through sports, music, cooking, whatever. And so this cadet program have to be unique because we must address everybody's talent. So while some go play music, while some go do sport, cooking, whatever, that will be addressed. Maybe some of them don't like no sports, maybe we don't like no drum, but we are learn for cook, we are learn for sew, we are learn for be a mechanic. With me, the skies is the limit. And so, and I always have this thing in me. The marine thing is be the best you can be all you can be. And so I'm very inspired and I'm motivated. This is not about me. This is making you be the best you can be, explore your talent. We don't like to explore our talent. And I have seen music have also helped, have calmed you down, have also helped with your attitude, have bring you actually to a better person. Music, if you don't listen, you don't pay attention, music make you make money. Music make you be something big in life. People who play, I think one of the guys that play a trumpet, Kenny G. Music also can make you money. My hope, I hope, is that some members from this band can also be a member of the bigger picture, which is the police department music band. And it starts right from here.
Well, Brent, it was an enjoyable afternoon that we spent looking at the performance and the joy on the faces of the children as they receive those instruments and as they march and perform for us. Like everything else, time runs fast. So let's get some closing remarks from you before we tell the folks that we gotta go.
Behind every good man, they have a supporting team. My wife, thank you, Anita Hamilton. My son, Brent Hamilton Jr., my other three sons, Ellis Rekena, Denton Rekena, Giovanni Rekena, and my daughter, Whitney Rekena. My mom, who is still here with me, thank you very much, ma'am. Love you to death, Elfrida Hamilton. My brother, Elvis, Lincoln, and Quinton. My support team, my sister-in-law, my brothers-in-law. And so I can't do nothing without them. With God on my side, my good friends that knows me, my police family, my sporting family, because what I didn't mention in an interview that I present Belize in softball, volleyball, and track and field. So I've been around doing all these type of things, right? And so that community there, and of course my carnival family.
Carnival King, former Carnival King.
I must say, Rene, in Belize so far, and maybe at the Bragg, and if we even look at research, there are only one set of persons that I know. This is me and my wife, that is being crowned king and queen at the same time in this country. If you will find somebody else happy at the same time like that, you're right. So I am happy. And I will continue to serve my community as best as I can. And I like I said, I wish that everyone find it in their heart to spread the word of love and to lend a hand and to do very good community work. And I couldn't ask for a better life in this earth with God and in the leader in everything that I do.
So yes, my brother, it's all about love, right? Love of God, love of oneself, love as one neighbor, as oneself, just like how you love yourself, you love your neighbor as yourself. And like I said in my presentation, do unto others as you would that they do unto you, which is that golden rule that we all know so very well. And all that translates into love. And as we close our show, we know about love. So we say, and we choose love. And so we say, Belize and beyond, thanks for choosing love. Belize Watch, knowledge of the past, impacting the present. building the future.
See what I mean?